Hey guys, bit of a different video for today. I've been approached by Lou from Bay State Opals, as you can see here on the screen. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to go through the website and do a bit of a review on it. But the most important thing is that we go through and look at his new Australian Opal rubs section here. And I'm actually going to pick one out, we'll get it delivered, and then we will work on that as well, and we'll see what we come up with. And basically, yeah, just critique the listings and see how he's put it together. Now, Lou is over, Massachusetts somewhere, so pretty northeast America. So I am going to judge this based on kind of the North American pricing, which is a little bit elevated compared to Australia for Australian Opal, but that's pretty reasonable because you have to get it over there, and there's not a lot of Opal sellers there, so supply is a lot lower. So yeah, I'm going to be pretty honest about it. Hopefully it won't be too brutal. I think Lou does a pretty good job last time I checked, but he didn't have Opal rubs back then. And the good thing about Opal rubs rather than rough, I'm seeing it a lot on a couple of the Opal selling groups. There's been some issues where people just aren't getting value from rough. The prices have skyrocketed a bit in the last couple of years, but people are finding that it's not very good, and that they're just not making back what they paid on the rough. And for a lot of those people, I would definitely recommend they either branch out to new sellers. I mean, there's plenty of really good sellers out there and you'll be happy with what you get in your rough. But also you can branch out to Opal rubs, where you basically, what you see is what you get, as long as the seller is pretty honest. And yeah, we'll see if Lou is pretty honest, or whether he'll regret asking me to do this. So we'll start off just going into the rub section. We'll come back and look at the polished opals and the jewelry at the end. He does make some custom pieces. So these are the selections. Now what I do a lot of the time when I'm doing this kind of thing, if there's not, actually even if there's 100 options, I still just open them all up in tabs and then we'll just go through them. So we'll have a look. I'm sure he uses a pretty standard method of showing off each of his parcels. So we'll have a look at the pictures. Now, I'm already picking up one thing that I don't hate it. I think it's better than nothing. But you can see here, that's a US 1 dime coin. Now, me being an Aussie, I actually don't know how big 1 dime is. So what I'm going off is that this is a 4.18 carat parcel, and there are 5 stones. This one looks pretty small. So we're looking here at like 1 carat rubs. So I do prefer to use just a standard ruler in the shot, or what I do in some of my YouTube thumbnails if I'm trying to emphasize the size of a stone is I take a picture with a caliper, either a digital caliper, because then you can do inches or millimeters. And yeah, it just gives me a better idea. I can look up what a 1 dime coin is though, and then work out what this size actually is. You know, it's not the end of the world. At least it's something. Otherwise you've got nothing to base these on. A lot of the time people won't put anything, and I have to base it on things like if they've got their thumb or something, and then I'll measure my thumb and look at their thumb and go, oh, theirs is a bit chunkier than mine, or theirs is a bit narrower, and then go from there. So it's not perfect. So this first one, 4.18 carats. The price is surprising. 72, yeah, that is Australian dollars. 73 Aussie bucks. For a US seller, this is quite low. I'll be interested to see what he sells these polished stones for. I thought they were quite higher priced than what you'd get in Australia, but honestly, that's pretty good pricing. Delivering to Australia, the website calculates that as well. So 27 bucks to get it here. Looking at close to, $100 all up for this. I mean, it's still higher than what I would expect to find a parcel like this in Australia, but in the US, this is actually cheaper than what I would typically see. I live near an airport, so hopefully I can cut a lot of those flight path related sounds out. We should look at the pictures. So the first one, oh, that's interesting. So the first one is the stone's clearly quite wet, showing a lot of flashing colour. I'm not seeing anything strange with the contrast or brightness really. Maybe it's a little bit bright from the reflection on the 1 dime, but it's probably a pretty shiny coin anyway. This one is much better. So that 1 dime might also be wet. Not sure, but this is definitely a good sign already. So now this is the whole parcel dry, and the photos are quite good. You might think that it's a little bit out of focus, but it's actually quite well focused, and that's just that's the final rub state. So it's always going to be a little bit foggy. These are like the rough rubs, as I like to call them, because they're not actually shaped already or fairly pre-shaped. These are kind of, I mean, this one's a little bit teardrop-ish, but they've all got a little bit of work to do just to shape and then polish. And yeah, it's good that he's put dry pictures. It's always something that's missing a lot of the time, and that's even more interesting. So that's the backs of all the stones. I don't know how many times I've ever seen a person list that. Even the big time Aussie sellers don't typically show the backs of the stones that often. So here you can actually see whether there's a few sand pockets that are going to surprise you when it gets delivered. I mean, none of these look like they're going to be overly unstable or anything. This one here, he's even left them in the same spots. Man, Lou's got some of this listing stuff on point. So here, I think I do see that sand pocket there. So maybe it does go in a fair way. And he's probably got the wets in the right spot as well. Oh no, so they've moved around for the wet. Yeah, so the positions have changed for the wet photo, and it would be this stone here, I guess, and you can't really see the sand. Alright, so that's pretty good. The only thing I feel is missing is a video. I always like videos. It doesn't have to be wet, doesn't have to be dry, it's just nice to have a video, but we'll check out the listing. Not finished, needs shaping, polishing. So the lightning ridge, solid natural weight. Taken using a gem grading light that simulates direct, so like a daylight lamp. Oh, additional YouTube video. I reckon he's ticked every box. Yeah, okay, so he shows each of these. Wow, he shows every stone off wet in a video as well. 1 minute long for just five stones. Yep, shows the backs, shows the front, spins them around, moves them everywhere. That's interesting. If you want to subscribe, 51 subscribers, we can probably bump that up. Though I don't know if it's just for his listing, so it might not be overly exciting. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Delivery and policies from the US. Yep, just the normal. Can pay however you want. Yeah, there is a returns policy, always good. Conditions for return, just pay for postage and don't play with the stones. That seems normal. Seems surprisingly, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. Lou's a great guy, so somehow he's picked up a lot of great ideas for how to list them. So they're all the same, 3 photos and a video as well. I won't bother checking out all the videos, but I will have a good look at these pictures to pick one. 6 stones, 6 carats. So you can see here, some are just over a carat, some are just under a carat. Seems reasonable. Let me have a look at it dry. Looks pretty good dry. Looking at the backs. Yeah, looks pretty good. So you can see the back is nice because then you can really see if it's crystal no matter what the background is. Because sometimes you use a black background and it'll make everything look like a doublet if it's a crystal opal. But this is quite interesting. I don't know why I haven't really thought of taking photos of the backs of stones. And I really haven't seen many do it. We'll just keep going through. So this is just a single stone, 4 carat stone. It's quite a nice stone. I feel like I shouldn't pick a single stone parcel though. So that's a 9.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. God, some of them look really good. I'm seeing, what am I seeing here? I'm seeing cracks here, I think. You guys can see my cursor. So I feel like I'm seeing some sort of crack or scratch on that one. And this is the front's wet. And there's a little bit of imperfection in this stone, so that might be a slice through there. That one's really close to pre-shaped. Same as this one, bit of a teardrop. We'll have a look at it dry. Yeah, see, this one here, definitely What's this? This is dry back of the stone? No, it looks like dry front of the stone. This one's a little bit different to the other listings in how it's been shown off. So that one's got a... I think this might be a bit of a problem stone that's going to break apart. It looks like it's... doesn't look crazed, but it does look like it's got a solid crack through it. The other stones, though, are pretty nice and fairly interesting, so... We'll go to the last one. So 8 carat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this looks like it's probably close to 2.5, 3 carats on its own. This one's probably under a carat. See, now that I'm seeing the back of this coin, I don't know what kind of coin it is. So that makes it harder. I'm guessing it's still the dime. And there's 4 pictures in this one. So wet, they all look pretty good. Surprised this one's only 130. So dry front, there's something going on here, but I think that's just a surface blemish. From the scratches, this might have just come off a, don't know, maybe a low grit Nova or maybe a high grit Sintered. I mean, this one's still showing great. They're all showing great colour for dried, which is why I think it might not be the Sintered anymore. I'll have to ask Lou. Okay, and then the back shot. So the back shot doesn't have me too concerned, except this one here does look pretty sandy. And this one here actually looks like it might have some issues with sand causing a bit of destabilization of the actual opal. And previously on the channel, I've cut a stone that had this mottled kind of potch behind it. And it does tend to split between those dark patches, especially if there's sand destabilizing it. And there also seems to be some sand dug in over here. But, I mean, this little crystal stone looks amazing. So does this one here. And those two, there was a round and a weird shape. So the round, not a lot of color. The weird shape was probably this one, which looks quite good. Or maybe it was this one here, if it was more crystal. Yeah, it looks like the more crystal one. That's the darker one. Oh yeah, so this is the one with the sand, this is that darker one, this is that lighter one. This one might be worth taking a better look at in person. It could be quite interesting. So yeah, I didn't look at the backs of this one here. So this is the 9.4 carat one. This looks like it's got a bit of a fracture coming apart, that might split. This one's got sand and I can see the color poking through, and that's not really a crystal. Oh yeah, it is actually a bit of a dark crystal. But it looks like that sand goes right through to almost the face. If I can see the face of that one, see that dark haze. So that's a bit of a worry. Yeah, so that would be this one here with those darker areas. So I don't think I'm overly keen on this one. I'm actually leaning mostly towards this one. I think it's got, I mean, half the work's been done. Some of these are incredibly well shaped already. So it gives the Dremel a bit of a rest. But also the colours there, it's pretty nice from the front. I mean, I guess these two stones are a little bit concerning, but maybe it's worth taking the gamble on these ones. The others seem fine. They'll scrub up nice. So let's just have a quick look at this first one again. They're maybe a little bit small. Maybe a little bit small for me to choose this one, though it's probably got the best colour. And the stones don't look overly problematic. I mean, this one seems to have a fair bit of sand, but it's the small, almost like an offcut anyway. So that'll have a nice 1 carat finished stone, 1 carat finished stone. That sand is pretty deep, but not a huge problem. That's probably just under a carat. That would also be under a carat. And then this one, if you get anything out of it, you're killing it because it's so bright. It's that's the dry picture. So yeah, wet, they get a little bit, I think it's a little bit over, I don't think it's the contrast, it's the brightness, I think. It looks much better in this picture. I like this dry picture a lot. So I guess I can't rule that one out. Oh, I suck at making decisions like this. So this one, that looks like it's got the crack in it. Is that the one? Yeah, see, it might have a split there. I'm not too sure. Back shot. Bit sandy on a couple. Oh, all these parcels are good. All these parcels are good, and they're not actually US overpriced level. Let's come to a decision. I think we'll rule out the 4 carat. I feel like it's just, each of the stones will be a bit small. this one's probably similar. I don't think it's... Yeah, I mean, they're such nice stones though. This is tough. So maybe... I think we can rule this one out. I think this one I'm not overly keen on. I like this one. I think this one will be this big stone will be a problem. I think this shield-shaped stone will be a problem. But the others are quite nice. And I haven't really compared the pricing of them. So that's 8 for 130, 9 for 150, 6 for 100, 4 for 80. Yeah, I mean, they're all priced fairly similar in relation to their carat weight. I think we lock in this one. I'm not sure how... Oh, okay, so item number. I guess that's number 1. Oh, he plans on doing more of these if there's that many zeros in front of it. But I think this one, I think it's a nice parcel. I mean, the colours don't really leap out on the larger ones, but this is a nice stone. This is definitely a nice stone, and I like that stone on its own. That's a nice crystal. So I think this will be the one. I think, look at that. Parcel 1, it all lines up. I think we'll just select that one, get them delivered, and they'll be back on the channel. Looking at them like this, it would be this parcel right here. I think it's not a bad choice. I think it's alright. Back to the home page, let's go for his polished stones and just have a quick browse through. I just want to know the price and what he's got. Oh, he's got, that's a killer first item to see. That's bright. I'd need to check out that listing. That is a pair of nice stones. Lightning Ridge, seems that he loves his Lightning Ridge. This looks like some fairly crystal Lightning Ridge. Huge reds. Oh, they're amazing stones. So that's next to the 1 dime. I really need to find out how much the dime... Oh, wait, no, these ones is actually measured because they're not rubs. So the first gem weighs 2.5. The other one's probably similar, yeah, 2.5-ish. 13.8 millimeter, 5.5. Still pretty thick. They're beautifully cut too, and I think Lou actually cuts all of this. Cuts and polishes all these stones himself. And yeah, with fingers you can also get a pretty good idea of the size. Yeah, alright, that's incredible. 1,300 for the pair. That's nice. That's good pricing. That's perfectly fair pricing, especially for US market. What else am I seeing? A lot of Lightning Ridge. A lot of Lightning Ridge crystal. This is a killer stone as well. I know it's only a carat, but I've seen stones like that at a bit over a carat sell for much more than 650 in Australia, and in the US I've seen them sell for even more than that. Or at least a lot of people ask of much more than that. I don't know what final price they get. It's got quite a variety of stones. Oh, that's a big one. 96 carat, only 700. 750. Oh, the delivery price on this one goes up quite a bit. Maybe that's because it's calculating customs or taxes or something. Actually, that's a fair point. I wonder if these are all... Oh no, GST included. Yeah, because in the US you sell everything prior to tax calculation on top of that. It's like an extra 10%. That tripped me up a few times when I was over there. That's an incredible stone. That can probably fetch a bit more than 750. I mean, I know it's got a little bit of iffiness in some areas, a little bit of a blemish, but that's still pretty nice. I'm guessing they don't come out. Otherwise, Lou would have tried by now. But maybe, if you're a carver, maybe you just hollow that in just a little bit. Because you'll notice that with lots of, well, all of Lou's stones, it does look like he goes for those, not so much calibrated cabs, but they are very much cabs. He's selling a lot of stuff for far less than I thought he would. And there's 4 pages. I wonder if there's anything past that. No, 4 pages. So it's still got quite a lot of stones. That's a really nice stone. I bet you that looks amazing on video. That's 1.5 carats. Yeah, it's got an interesting enough pattern on it to probably ask that much. I wonder if he'd take less. I'd be interested in that stone actually. This looks like an amazing stone that's probably undervalued just from that one picture. But anyway, we've had a good look at some of his finished ones. Actually, just when I scrolled down there, I think I saw Oh, that's a nice stone. If I had more time, I'd check some videos on it, but we've all got limited time. So let's have a look at his jewelry pieces. Spelt the US way, of course. Mark him down some points for that. Alright, not a lot of jewelry pieces, but the ones that he does have look really nice. So he's selected some really good stones here. What's going on with this picture though? Is that just a bit of a hazy stone, or is this a poor direction for that stone? Well, maybe it is just a bit of a subdued stone. It's nice and big though. Does he break down? Yep, so weight 2 carats. I'm guessing that's what he means. The opal weight. Yep, so opal section and then ring section. No, his listing style is on point. Jewelry, stones, rubs, everything. He's kind of really thought it out. I wonder, it might just be experience that's got him to do that, but it's like he's had a really good opal selling coach for this kind of stuff, because it's ticking all the boxes when it comes to listing. Not even people on Opal auctions do all of this. Very nice, very clean. I wonder, does he say if he makes these himself or whether he's got someone employed to do this part? If he's cutting these stones, polishing these stones, and setting them all himself, I mean, he's what I'm aiming to be in 10 years' time, because this is some nice work. He's treating the opals well. Let's go to the about section. So just to finish off the video, let's have a look at the about section. That's Lou, the man himself. Natural unset and set opals that I cut and polish. So he says cut and polish. I don't know. He doesn't mention if he makes the jewelry himself. I'll have to ask him, because if he does, he's doing some incredible work. This is an interesting part. So he doesn't do any doublets or triplets. He stays away from that, which, yeah, fair enough. Though I do think he might want to reconsider the doublets thing, because he could get some really good value out of doublets and selling them in the US. They're priced using the gemstone appraisal tools at gemval.com, opalvalue.com. I have heard of opalvalue.com, and I've tried using it myself, and I didn't really like a lot of the pricing that it gave, but that might be why some of these are a bit undervalued, I think. Visit our website for custom pendants or ring/message us. Maybe you can actually choose to buy one of the stones and then ask them to get it set, ask them to set it or to get it set. I'll have to ask Lou about that as well, because that's nice. I've got to ask him more about the jewelry side of things, because I think it's incredible that he's doing all of this. If he's doing it all himself, it's mind-blowing. But yeah, I guess that will do it. This is Lou's Pride and Joy, based at Opals, over there in the US. So if you're a US viewer, and a lot of you are, for value and proximity, I think this might actually be definitely something you want to check out, especially the polished Australian opal. Now, if you buy a polished Australian opal in the US, you'll probably struggle to find a jeweler that's comfortable setting it, because you don't want to buy these and give it to someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and all of a sudden they snap them because they're a bit softer than the diamonds they're used to working. So definitely, if you're going to do that, maybe talk to Lou about if he can set it, or if he knows someone. He obviously knows someone, or he himself can set these stones. So if you're in the US and you don't just want a loose, beautiful looking stone like this and you want it set, I would definitely send him a message about it and just link the opal you're interested in and just say, oh, can you make this a ring? Because I'd be much more comfortable having him do the setting, because he's clearly got the capability to do it. Whereas locally, you might not be able to find someone. Here in Adelaide, Australia, you can find a lot of jewelers that specialize in opals, so they can set no worries. But yeah, and even if you're not in the US, for these kind of prices, and the shipping doesn't seem ridiculous, so for these kind of prices, I think Bay State Opals is definitely something that you should keep on your list, because just in the quality of listings, as in how he's listed all of these things, the jewelry, the stones, the rubs, everything, he's really listed it well. So yeah, I actually thought I would pick up more issues and I could help Lou by improving his listings, but I really don't have much, apart from maybe instead of just a coin, just having a ruler. It doesn't have to be millimeters or inches. You're not going to be able to please everybody, but maybe just having something that's clearly defined measurements rather than a coin that not everyone's familiar with. I think that's really the only thing he could improve. So yeah, on that note, Lou, you've done an amazing job if you're watching this. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what comes in the mail. If the one I chose is no longer available, we'll pivot and go to another one, but hopefully it's still there. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully these get here quite quickly. US postage could take a week, could take 10 months. So we'll have to wait and see, but hopefully there's a part 2 coming up very soon. And until then, I'll see you guys later.